What does it take to succeed in life? Is it discipline, confidence, strength? Because most people spend their life trying to become just one thing. But in One Piece, the answer is different. Because no single person has everything it takes. But together, the Straw Hats represent something much bigger. A complete blueprint for the kind of person you need to become. Look around you and look at yourself. Realistically, most people are unbalanced. We may try to be confident, but then we lack discipline in other things. We may have discipline, but we lack joy and enjoyment of life. We may be kind, but we may lack strength. We may be outgoing, but we may not be smart. We may be smart, but not very outgoing. We can't talk to people. We might be this, but be that. The perfect human being does not exist, and all of us are just having a hard time in this floating rock in the universe. And in our ongoing struggle, I have found that the Straw Hats actually solved this problem for us. Each of them represent a different piece of the puzzle, starting with the most important one from the captain. Luffy has the character that doesn't wait to be ready. He moves, even when he doesn't know how things will work out. And that's what makes him dangerous. He takes action into pursuing his ambition, which in today's world, self-fulfillment is one of the most important things that there is out there. We have climbed up the hierarchy of needs, physiological, we are safe, we are no longer amidst the jungle or whatever. We have communities, we have self-esteem through our job. Now at the very top of that pyramid lies self-actualization. If you pay attention to society, we've been talking about purpose and finding it way more than ever before. We have a lot more problems with depression than ever before. It is because of this void in our heart. But this void can be filled up if we chase our purpose. But to chase our purpose, we need action. And that's what Luffy has. But action and a vision without structure can destroy everything. Which is why we need Zoro. Zoro is the opposite of Luffy. Where Luffy is freedom, Zoro is control. He trains, he sacrifices, he endures. The very nature of Luffy is to be bendy, like rubber. But Zoro uses swords, he's straight to the point, he cuts the bullshit, and he does what needs to be done. It's all rich and well to chase after your purpose, like Luffy, right? But if you have no plan, no structure, no discipline to actually do this properly, you probably won't make any progress at all. You probably overvalue your ability to do things and you'll end up failing at everything that you try. Let's say you're a mixed martial artist and you've got a lot of spirit in order to fight. That's cool and all, but if you don't put in the hours to actually train alongside that, you're not going to be the world champion if that's your goal. But then again, discipline alone can make you rigid, which is why we need Sanji in our character. Sanji understands people, he listens, he protects, he gives. He's the empathetic kind that when you are in your journey to betterment, to whatever goals you're trying to achieve, actually makes time to bring people alongside him. He's the character that always he's got like a spidey sense when there's like a woman crying and he goes to the rescue, which is a silly trait of course in the show, but the more deep one is that he comes from a family where his brothers are cyborgs that don't feel pain and are genetically advanced, but at the cost of their emotions. He represents the opposite. He's empathetic, he loves people, he's caring. And if we revisit the hierarchy of needs, we need a feeling of connection with others, a feeling of belonging. And you won't belong to anyone or nobody's going to relate or spend time with you if you're just this strict and devoted guy that chases his destiny like a combination of Luffy and Zoro. But having that Sanji in you will make it so that you can actually foster good friendships and people around you, which will come alongside you. Because, you know, it's all good to get to the top, but if you get there by yourself, it will be lonely. But then what if you cared for the wrong people? Because caring without boundaries can break you. Real strength is how you treat people when you don't need to. And I don't know you personally, but I can assume this right now. You are not a fearless person. You have some fears in you that you can't just bypass and ignore. But it is fear in itself that gives you a chance to be courageous. Look at Usopp. Usopp is terrified, but he still shows up. That's what makes him powerful. Even if you fear that it's a fight that you might not be able to win, even if you don't have confidence in yourself at all, showing up not only can turn the tides for things, but it's what starts everything. Pretty much every single enemy that Luffy has fought against was seemingly stronger than him at the start of the fight. And you could say that it was bravery and courageousness that made him still take that fight head on and throughout the fight become more powerful. Not only is this a good thing to actually chase after the things you want to accomplish, but this is a very motivational trait to have. If you saw somebody that was scared about doing something but they still did it, what kind of excuse does that leave you with? You would engender real inspiration in other people's eyes, as well as developing some strong self-faith from this type of actions and attitude. And you must learn how to navigate your life through this fear, because fear never actually goes away, no matter how great you become. Nami represents awareness and intelligence. Even long before meeting Luffy, she was hustling her whole life in order to survive. She would read people's behaviors, read the situation, and in her instance she was a thief, which is, not advisable. But it's to say that not every problem is solved with force. Some are solved with awareness. And this is a crucial trait to have, because if you look at the other ones so far, they're a little bit more thick. Luffy charges head on. Sure, he's smart in the fight, but he's not smart at anything else. And same with the other ones. However, one trait that Nami might seem lacking is compassion. In order to save her village, she would steal from others, even if that would put them in a bad situation without knowing their full history. This is a lack of compassion and putting yourself in other people's shoes. However, we have Chopper for this. Chopper reminds us of something simple: to care, even when it's hard. You shouldn't lose your humanity in order to become successful. And this is where the compassion trait comes in. Because if you abandoned your values and you abandoned the way that you started as in order to get to the end goal, you would have become a completely different person. So chasing this goal that you had started with would have become futile, meaningless. Taking this in mind, you must not let go of your compassion, of your values, but finding a way of navigating it through all of these traits and synergizing them together efficiently in order to be that best version of yourself that you can be. And let me ask you, has past failures or insults or bullying ever made you feel like you weren't worth anything? I've had people doubt me in different endeavors I've done in the past, be it when I used to have an agency or other business stuff that I did, or even my training regime or like my diet, whatever. People that decide to give their opinion because, they are allowed to. And they put you down, they say things to you that does not serve you. Through their words, they make you think of yourself less. And sometimes this is something that we do to ourselves. Mistakes from the past haunts us. I shouldn't have treated that person this way. I shouldn't have said that. I should have made another choice. I understand that. And I understand how horrible these things can feel. And this is when Nico Robin teaches us self-worth. In one of the most iconic scenes of One Piece, there was a huge build-up for this moment, where Robin lived believing that she shouldn't exist, until she chose to live and said it out loud. I know that this scene made many people cry, to be honest, myself included. This isn't to say to let go of your past or anything like that, because your past has made the person that you are today, the person that has these dreams or ambitions. And you should grow to love the person that you are, of course, if you don't already. It is to accept it. And instead of letting the past decide your worth, you decide your own worth now. This is done through many ways, obviously through your actions and whatnot. But it takes us on to Frankie. Frankie is the awesome depiction of being yourself. He is unapologetic and he owns who he is. He runs around the show calling himself a pervert, and when other people call him that, he blushes at it. He's a simple man that loves robots, like all of us. And he doesn't try to act cool or whatever, he just tries to be himself. And he doesn't try to please others through what they think is cool, but rather he tries to please himself through what he thinks is cool. Doing the whole super thing. He's only capable of being this way because he does not hold back. Confidence begins when you stop hiding. And now for a dark turn. Getting through suffering and pain in life. Brook has lost everything and wandered for many years in foggy waters. His story might be the saddest in the whole of Straw Hats, but we often forget that. And have you noticed why? That's because Brook is always laughing. Why are you asthmatic? Just breathe. Why are you homeless? Just buy a house. Why are you sad? Just be happy. But Brook actually decided to say, well, you know what? Even if my life has been tragic thus far and everything's horrible, I'm going to choose to smile and to laugh. Because life doesn't get easier, but you can carry the weight of the burdens of the past differently. Instead of letting it drag you down, maybe you can say and accept, alright, it's a heavy load. Let's do it with an optimistical gaze upon the horizon. Say, alright, I'm going to go for it. And I know this is hard, but let's smash through it. And you will do that with a smile on your face. It's not as simple as forging your happiness, because that's not even viable, it's not real. But it's about acceptance, understanding, and spiritual awareness. Which takes us to the last one, the newest member of the Straw Hats, Jinbe. Jinbe is calm in chaos. He is grounded and stable. He understands himself, the risk he puts himself in front of, and he understands life. When Luffy was struggling and, about to really pretty much kill himself after his brother Ace had died, Jinbe was there to say what probably a lot of other people who would have forgotten to say in that kind of moment that required some spiritual awareness, which would be to say, yes, you've lost something of great importance to you, but look at the other things that you have. This is not over, so don't give up. Don't do nothing to change to ensure that the other things do not meet the same fate as the brother, and keep yourself aground, because true strength is in emotional control. Most people try to become one thing, but the truth is you need all of it. Vision, discipline, compassion, courage. These Straw Hats aren't just characters, they are a blueprint. If you scattered them, they wouldn't work well. But together, they are a formidable team. So if you adopt the traits of each of these characters into yourself, you yourself will be formidable. Thank you so much for watching. Strive to be 1% better every day. And I love you.